So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. My name is Dayna Spiring. I am the President and CEO of Economic Development Winnipeg. Economic Development Winnipeg is the lead economic development agency for the City of Winnipeg. We are the experts and we are the information keepers on each sector of our very diversified economy, from advanced manufacturing to transportation to our growing and thriving tourism industry. Sometimes I feel like I'm less like the President and CEO and more like cheerleader-in-chief. Today we are thrilled to be here at the Forks on a perfect winter day to own it and to celebrate winter and the great things the City of Winnipeg has to offer like we've never done before. To kick that off, it is my pleasure to welcome someone who is also a great cheerleader for the City of Winnipeg and someone who is passionate about our winter and all that Winnipeg has to offer. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Brian Bowman.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Dana, and good afternoon, everybody. I don't know about you guys, but I was down here with my family on Saturday, joining up around
I saw you
50.
curling.
I was. Technique wasn't great, but I was there for the team, and you know, it's just great to be here on the ice for today's press conference. I do want to begin just by acknowledging we're on Treaty 1 land and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. Granted, we're not technically on land right now. We are on Treaty 1 territory. And I'm absolutely delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you today on an initiative that's important to the City of Winnipeg. Everyone knows that Winnipeg is famous for our cold weather. Most Winnipeggers and even visitors have learned to embrace it. Now, we're proud of our chilly reputation. We love to tell other Canadians about how they've never experienced a real winter until they've come to Winnipeg. And we fill the winter months with events like the Festival des Voyageurs, and it's good to have Jeanette here. Activities like skating along the Red River Mutual River Trail, visiting polar bears at the Journey to Churchill, or exploring Fort White Alive's 640-acre urban nature reserve, or even dining on the Red River in Raw Almond, which is just behind us here today. Today, I'm very excited to announce that we're making our frosty reputation official. The City of Winnipeg has teamed up with Economic Development Winnipeg to secure Winter City accreditation. Now, the World Winter Cities Association for Mayors is a network of over 20 northern cities worldwide dedicated to promoting winter technologies and experiences. This accreditation will help boost tourism to Winnipeg during the winter months, but it will also expose Winnipeg to a wider audience interested in studying cold weather living. Currently in Winnipeg, we have the GE Aviation Engine Testing Research and Development Center, the new MTS Data Center, New Flyer Industries Manufacturing Plant, which you're going to hear more about in a moment, and Red River College's imminent Motive Lab, which is a highly specialized extreme weather testing facility set up to be the first of its kind in Western Canada. Among many other local businesses, industries, and city services providing creative, sustainable, and innovative solutions for cold weather living. Now, we hope to see much more of this going forward, thanks to Winnipeg's new Winter City accreditation. This is the beginning of a new process, a new visibility, and opportunities to build upon some of the excellent work that's going on in the community already. I do want to thank Economic Development Winnipeg under the leadership of Dayna Spiring for working with the city to get this done. And of course, Winnipeg's weather gods for blessing us with some of the coldest winters in Canada. And of course, I will just give a nod to the James Richardson International Airport for giving us the ability to take a break from it once in a while as well. Together, we're building a growing, thriving, more modern city, and a city well on its way to 1 million people strong. I'm very proud of everything our city has to offer, including in cold weather. And really what's important about today is really getting this accreditation gives us visibility amongst the member cities. It also allows us to better leverage and draw the connection between economic development and cold weather. So we all know it's good for tourism. It's increasingly good for tourism. Of course, no place really does a better job in our city 24/7, 365 days a year than the Forks North Portage Partnership. But there's more we can do as a community by working together, and I'm just thrilled to be here with community leaders to announce officially that we are a winter city. So thanks very much for being here. Merci and miigwech.
Thank you, Mayor Bowman. I think it's safe to say that just about everyone here today knows Paul Jordan, CEO of the Forks. We're here on his stomping ground this afternoon, so we thought it made a lot of sense to ask Paul to say a few words about what the Forks does to promote Winnipeg. Just last Friday, as one example, several members of my staff were here to kick off the announcement of this year's annual winter warming huts. It's a great example of what Paul and his team do to make Winnipeg and winter special. I'll let Paul talk more about how and why the Forks focuses on winter, but it's no accident that the Forks is Winnipeg's #1 tourist attraction, welcoming over 4 million visitors annually. The fact that this 6,000-year-old meeting place is now such a compelling year-round destination says a lot about what Paul and his team has accomplished. Thankfully, Paul's passion for Winnipeg extends well beyond the Forks. He is an incredible ambassador for our city, and I am very pleased to welcome him here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Jordan.
Thanks, Dana. Wow. So this would be a much different press conference if we had a typical winter. It'd be much shorter. You know, what's interesting, I started in 1991 pushing a lawnmower. Whoever that is, I am so sorry that I just wrecked your whole day and all the future interviews you were going to do today. I'll try and keep my hands behind my back now. So I started in 1991 pushing a lawnmower. There was nothing going on here. Absolutely nothing. The rivers were frozen and nobody was on them. What's interesting is 25 years later, after concerted effort, summers, I get it, but the winter has become this kind of focal point for what the Forks does. Just where our financial statement meets our mission statement, we're here to be a meeting place, but now our financial statement is starting to back it, meaning all our businesses are starting to do real numbers. In February, their numbers are bigger than in July. We are seeing our door counts. We did 50,000 people this weekend, came through the doors of the Forks Market. Those are July numbers. So that's the kind of impact when you just focus on winter and you do something authentic and you do something for the people of Winnipeg. Winnipeggers respond and they do all this stuff and they come out and they have fun. Business follows, and it's a perfect melding of the mission statement and the financial statement. So thanks for all your help with this stuff. It's not the Forks doing it. It's Winnipeggers doing it.
Thank you, Paul. Oh, thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Paul. I'd now like to introduce Chris Stoddart. Chris is currently the Senior Vice President of Engineering and Customer Services at New Flyer Industries. And Chris is a great example of how we connect the dots and how we move from great recreational space to great businesses that happen in Winnipeg in the winter. Chris's career began in 1989 when he worked for General Motors in Oshawa. After that, he transitioned from cars into the freight rail car manufacturing industry, working for National Steel. Leaving all manner of cars behind in 2007, both rail and road, Chris made the move to buses at about 10 years ago when he accepted an executive level position at New Flyer. Today, the teams he leads at this nearly 90-year-old Winnipeg icon are leading the charge, pun intended, on electric zero-emission buses. Electric zero-emission buses are an increasingly important part of New Flyer's offering, and they account for over 8% of the company's total heavy-duty transit bus production. From an R&D perspective, these buses, and New Flyer by extension, benefit in multiple ways from Winnipeg's cold winters. I'll let Chris tell you why. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Stoddart.
Well, thank you, Dana, for that wonderful introduction. Good afternoon. I feel very fortunate to be part of a 5,000-person team that is dedicated to producing the most innovative, market-leading transit and highway coach buses in all of North America. Both New Flyer and Motor Coach Industries are headquartered here in Winnipeg. Most of our research and development is performed in Winnipeg, and we are very lucky to be able to conduct our cold weather testing right here in our home city. Proper vehicle development demands an extreme environment. The ability to have minus 40-degree temperatures, ice, snow, salt, and the occasional rough road provides us the ideal test environment. Historically, this has always been and will continue to be important for structural design, ride and handling, heating, maintenance practices, and winter traction. But now this environment is even more important as we look towards our technology roadmap. Given that most of our current and future innovation involves zero-emission electric propulsion and now autonomous driving, our local environment is absolutely perfect. Cold temperatures have the most significant impact on range for an electric bus. We continue to perform multiple tests with different battery packs, chargers, and various heating strategies that will allow us to optimize electric vehicle winter performance. And one of the largest challenges with autonomous driving development is what to do when the lines of the road are covered with snow and ice. And in Winnipeg, you can conduct this type of testing in the months between November and April, and in many years, the month May also. But on top of the environmental extremes, we are fortunate to have phenomenal technical resources that include the U of M, Red River College, the Industrial Technology Center, the Vehicle Technology Center, and the Composite Innovation Center, all of which help us on our research and development journey today. So in conclusion, there is no doubt that Winnipeg is a premier city to perform cold weather vehicle testing, and the current technology challenges will only increase its appeal. Thank you.
You know, I know it helps with the research, but we still got to fix it.
Thanks, Chris. Today, we hope that you got an appreciation of all that is accomplished in Winnipeg because of winter and not in spite of it. We felt that it was time to connect the dots and to give each of you the information that you need to be an ambassador for our great winter city. From today on, we don't want you complaining about the cold. We want you talking about the tens of millions of dollars that is generated in our economy every winter. We want you to talk about New Flyer. We want you to talk about GE and the MTS data center. We also want you to talk about the fact that on weekends, like the one that just passed, 50,000 people were on this river skating at the Forks. Winnipeg is now an accredited winter city. We are officially owning winter. And we invite each of you to be an ambassador and own it with us. Thank you very much.
You get a hold of this, okay?
Just like on the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Woohoo!